Hollywood News. I'm your host, Rodeo Marie Hanson. Tonight we're here at the American Music Theater in Lancaster, PA. My very special guest, country music star, Charlie Daniels.
When I first learned 3 chords on a guitar where I could play a whole song, that's all I ever wanted to do. I was probably around 14, 15 years old at that time. And I just pursued my dream. I went out and I tried to, every time I could find somebody who knew something on an instrument that I didn't know, I'd try to learn it. Every time I got a chance to play for people, I'd play for people. So that's all I ever really wanted to be. I do exactly what God has blessed me with doing exactly what I want to do.
Take us back to the beginning. Where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born in Wilmington, North Carolina in 1936. And I grew up, well, kind of all over the Southeast. My dad was in the timber business, so we moved around a lot. We lived in Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina and several different places. So to answer your question, I was born in Wilmington, North Carolina, but I grew up in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, mostly in North Carolina, but we moved a lot.
You have recorded music for icons. What was it like to have Elvis Presley record one of your songs?
Well, how would you feel if Elvis recorded one of your songs?
I don't know. I'd be like, that's amazing. He's a big legend.
I feel the same way.
You won a Grammy for Devil Went Down to Georgia. What was how did you come up with the concept for this song?
It was kind of a boring story, actually. We were doing an album called Million Mile Reflections, and we had written and rehearsed an album's worth of material. But when we got in the studio and started recording, we came to the glaring realization we did not have a fiddle song. Now, why we didn't decide this before we went in, I don't know, but we didn't. So we moved our equipment out of the recording studio into a rehearsal studio and started writing. And I had this thing in my mind, Devil Went Down to Georgia, and the band was there, and Taz came up, the keyboard player came up, and I just said, hey, this is what we ought to be doing. So I went over in the corner. Well, I say over in the corner. It took a couple of days and wrote the lyrics to it and went back in the studio and recorded it. But it was just a couple of days in the making, actually.
What is the one life lesson that everyone can benefit from your book, Never Mind the Empty Seats?
Well, the title, Never Mind the Empty Seats, is like a kind of retake on is a glass half full or half empty, or accentuate the positive type of thing. And when you're a young musician, you're going to have empty seats because, you know, nobody knows who you are. So you go and you play to whoever's there. And if you go in and say, well, I got a half house tonight, I'm going to just kind of slough off and play a short set and do this, a bad idea. Because if you'll entertain the people who are there, if you'll not look at the empty seats, if you look at the full seats and you act like the house is full every night, next time you go back to town, they'll probably come see you again and bring somebody else with them. So that's how you build a following. So it's just basically saying, if you can't get what you want, take what you can get, make what you want out of it, you know? It's like, just work at it, just stay with it, and believe in what you're doing, and Lord willing, it'll happen for you.
How does it feel to be a member of both the Grand Ole Opry and the Country Music Hall of Fame?
Well, it's like a dream come true, actually. The night I was inducted in the Opry, I was 71 years old before I was ever inducted in the Opry. I didn't know if it was ever going to happen or not. And I told the crowd on stage, I said, you know, the Bible says God will give you desires of your heart. You have seen that come true on this stage tonight, because it was a very deep desire in my heart to be a member of the Grand Ole Opry. And I had played it many, many times as a guest, but I had never been a member. So it meant an awful lot to me. And then the Country Music Hall of Fame thing just came out of the middle of nowhere. They only put 3 people a year in. There's a lot of people that I felt like, and I still feel like, deserve to be there more than I do. And I was just literally flabbergasted by it. It was incredible.
You have inspired people to pick up a fiddle and play. What do you think of the importance of music education in our public schools?
I think music education and appreciation is great. I think it's good for everybody to know a little bit about music. I think that it takes a different sort of a mindset to be a professional musician, because it's quite a chance you take. You basically got to turn your back on everything If you're really serious about making it a music business, you gotta just give up everything. You gotta go where the business is. You gotta stay with it until you get something to happen. Sometimes that can take a long, long time. And it can get awfully disgusting, and people shutting doors in your face and call you names. And I mean, you gotta be able to take all that. You gotta sacrifices. You gotta be away from home, away from your family, your wife and kids if you happen to be married. So it's quite a decision to make as far as being a professional. Everybody don't have to be a professional musician, but appreciating music and knowing a little bit about it, I think is great. So I think a music education in school is very good.
Your legacy in country music is secure, but when people think of Charlie Daniels, what would you like them to remember?
I've been asked that question a lot, and I don't think anybody deserves to be remembered for any more or any less than they are actually. We tend to magnify people in death a lot of times and make like they're a better person than they were or whatever, and then sometimes we don't. We go the other way with it. I guess I'd be perceived as whatever people perceive me being. You know, it's like I'm one thing to one person, I'm one thing to another. A lot of people, I'm just a fiddle player. If you went to Germany and asked people, you know, have you ever heard Devil Went Down to Georgia? That'd probably be the only song of ours that they would know, so they would look at me as nothing but a fiddle player. Some people look at me as an entertainer. Some people look at me as an author. I've written 5 books. I've hosted television. I've done all kinds of things, so it would depend on what view you were looking at me from. As remember me what I was. I mean, if somebody could remember me as all those things, I would love that. That'd be great.
Tell us about Volunteer Jam and how you came up with the idea.
Volunteer Jam started in 1974 when we were wanting to we were doing an album called Fire on the Mountain, and we wanted to do 2 live cuts. And we got a hall, we rented a hall in Nashville and set up recording equipment and went in and did 2 live cuts. The Orange Blossom Special, a song called No Place to Go. And it kind of took on a life of its own. I mean, it just kind of, some things do that, and sometimes some of the best things do that. It's not planned, we planned on doing it one time, but it became very obvious to us that we should do it again. So we moved it out of a 2,200 seat venue into a 13,000 seat venue the next year. We've done it, we're in our 42nd year now, and we've done 20 of them. So we'll probably do another one somewhere along the line.
Thank you to my very special guest, Charlie Daniels. To quote, "The devil went down to Georgia, you're the best that's ever been." That's a wrap. Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank
with me.
you. All right.